Hey everyone, I'm Blake, and today we're here on the bank of Lake Pamamaroo, which is part of the ancient Menindee Lake system. It's on Barkandji Country, and I'm really excited because we're going to go for a walk, collect some materials from the natural environment, and make them into a small weaving. So let's go. Before you start your walk, whether you're walking through the city or walking through the bush like me, close your eyes for 1 second, take a big breath in, and a big breath out, and then you're ready to go. It's important that when we're collecting materials outside that we don't see it, that we're taking the materials, but we're asking the environment for them. And to do that, we need to collect sustainably. So just take a little bit, just take what you need for your weaving. And if you think that there's any little bugs living in there, or you think that it makes you feel uneasy in some way, it's best to leave it behind. On my walk, I found some emu feathers, a pelican feather, some string people had left behind, a mussel shell, some native grasses, but I also found a plastic bag and some old newsprint. And it's important that we collect both natural and made materials here because they all are telling a story of the landscape at this moment. Once you're back from your walk, you'll need to start setting up your loom. If you're using a cardboard loom, cut slits at about 1 centimetre apart. That will form the top and bottom of the loom to wrap the strings around. Once you've done that, tie off your string around the bottom slit of cardboard, and then pull it up, go around the top first slit, go back down, around the next slit, around, back up, around the slit, and back down. And do this all the way until you get to the end and finish back on the bottom. Once you've finished wrapping all your strings, flip your loom over and tie off your string on the little bit of string on the notch before. If you're using an old photo frame, I've put nails in the top and the bottom of mine to make it easier to put my strings up and down and up and down. But you could easily just wrap the strings right around the frame like I have on this little weaving frame here. Make sure now that your strings are not too tight, you want a little bit of give. Now you're ready to start weaving your collected materials, and I'm going to show you with these two larger sticks. So your first string you want to go over, the second string you want to go under, and repeat this step, over, under, until you get all the way along. Once you've reached the end, it's good to do another row where you'll do the opposite of what you just did. So the first string I will go under, and the second one I will go over. Under, over, under, over. Once you've woven a first couple of rows, either get your furrow comb or your fork, and you can start to compress the sticks down to the bottom of your weaving. The tighter that you press your sticks in, the more dense that your weaving will be. Some of the native grasses that you picked up will be too brittle to weave, so just try soaking them in some water for a few minutes. That will soften them up. Not all of the materials that you collected are going to be suitable for weaving. Take this plastic bag. It's a little bit too big to put through your weaving. So by cutting it up into small strips with your scissors, you can weave it into something that might look like this. Once you've finished weaving, you've run out of space on your loom or you've used up all your materials, you can take it off your loom. If you've used the nail or the cardboard technique, you'll be able to just pop it off the nails. You might need a little needle to help you get it off, but it will come off like that. The top of your weaving that had no knots will be okay because it won't fray, but you need to be mindful on the bottom that you'll need to cut off the first and the last string where you tied it onto your nail. Once you've done that, you'll be able to get your weaving completely off the loom. Your weaving won't be complete until you tie knots along the bottom of the weaving, otherwise your weaving will start to fray. I like to, in my other weavings, twist them so that the weaving won't fall off and it gives it a little tassel. So keep on weaving, and remember that weaving is slow. Be mindful, be patient, and remember that you have a responsibility to care for the land that you inhabit, and that you have a responsibility to tell the story of the land to others. And by creating this little map of your walk, it's a beautiful way to do that. It's a great idea to give this as a gift to someone and recall your story to them, or maybe you want to hang it by your door to remind you that every day is a good day for a walk. See you!